leader shows the true meaning of following the mission of HMH, and what better way of introducing this new award than to have the very patient from this story present our very first Daisy Nurse Leader Award at HMH. With that being said, I'd like to introduce our special guest.
Would you have a seat, please? First and foremost, I want to thank you and this hospital for the opportunity to be able to present the first ever Hardin Memorial Hospital Nurse Leader Award to someone who is extraordinary and very deserving. I have a couple of comments to talk about the Daisy Award in itself. And then, once I introduce the recipient, I have a couple things to let you know my personal connection to the recipient and to this hospital and what they have done. It meant for me, especially since 2014, when I was in here with gastric cancer. The Daisy program, Daisy being an acronym for diseases affecting the immune system. A gentleman named Patrick Barnes, at the age of 33, went into the hospital, wound up passing away with a disease called ITP. I tried to remember that terminology or acronym meaning, and it was needless to say a medical term, so I'm choosing to say ITP. He was in the hospital 8 weeks, passed away at the age of 33. He was a father, he was a son, and he was a husband. His wife, Tina, in his memory, wanted to do something to remember him by. She did not want a one-day memorial. She did not want a one-day-a-year remembrance. She wanted something that was everlasting. So she instantly thought, what can I do to remember my late husband? And she said her and her father-in-law, all they could come up with was the love, the compassion, and the care that was given to them the entire 8 weeks he was in the hospital. So she decided that she wanted to recognize nurses across the country who have dedicated their lives in support of patients like him and like me. So she applied for a nonprofit organization known as the Daisy Award. It was in November 1999 when this all began. Since then, there are 2,500 healthcare facilities that are participating in the program, one or more in all 50 states and 15 foreign countries. There were three factors that she wanted into this program. The first one being ongoing recognition, meaning it was not a one-time thing. It was something that would grow and grow and grow as the years went by. Number two, she wanted flexibility. Flexibility in her eyes meant she wanted it to be able to be tailored to that specific institution's needs. Third and foremost, she wanted it to be a turnkey operation, which meant that they would provide anything and all information necessary for an institution that wanted to become involved in the program. So it has been 100% successful in her attempt not only to begin the program, but for it to grow such that it is here at Hardin Memorial. So that is an overview of the Daisy program and how it was initiated. They initially came up with two different awards. One called the Team Award, which kind of represents two or more employees who is led by a nurse, and that is called a team award. It can be more than two, but a minimum of two. The second one was the Daisy Nurse Leader Award, designed for managers and directors. So I am again honored to be able to represent this to the recipient today, being Hard Memorial first ever. And once I named this individual, I asked that they remain seated while we stand and give this person a standing ovation. And then I asked that you be seated, and I'd like to spend about 2 to 3 minutes of telling you what this person has done and meant to me, and also not only this person, but this hospital. Because since 2014, I have lived in a hospital in 1 or 2 locations, and Hard Memorial can hold its head high for people such as this. So, envelope, please. Sharon, would you come forward, please?
Just a mess.
I love you. Congratulations to a most deserving individual. They use the word in the Daisy Award program, extraordinary. And that's just one of many adjectives to describe you.
I wanted to say.
Oh, you don't get to talk now. You need to get your composure, because we're not done.
I'm not going to get it. This sweet man doesn't understand his, they remind us of why we do what we do. My visit with you did more for me than could possibly done for you.
But you got to say more than that to the audience. When you sit down and I'm talking about my connection, maybe you get your composure.
I doubt it.
In 2014, I came here, had surgery for gastric cancer. So from 2014 through April of 16, I was in this hospital 4 times, 3 of which required surgery, major surgery, administered with Dr. Crane. Luckily, without knowing it, I was on the floor, which was the 4th floor, I think now become the 5th floor, and that's how I got to know Leanne. Our staff, phenomenal, epitomizes. There's nothing I can say as to the treatment that I got from every single nurse on Leanne's floor. That's how I got to know Leanne. She asked me to speak at one of her meetings, and I did. Not knowing Sharon at the time, Sharon was in that meeting and thought it would be nice if I spoke again at a board of directors meeting, and I did. So that's really how I got to know Sharon as an individual. Well, in 16, I was here in the hospital, and when Dr. Crane realized I needed more of a specialist, they transferred me to Norton's in Louisville to Dr. Vitale, who has since performed 2 surgeries on me in 7 days for a small bowel blockage. I'm not here to compare hospitals, but I'm here to say Hard Memorial has it together. Your love, your compassion, your concern, your dedication is second to none. And I can speak from experience. During my absence from this hospital to Norton's, these 2 ladies have kept up with me through my wife to see how I was doing, as if I was still a patient of theirs. That's rare. That's something that people in that caliber just don't do. But Sharon and them both took the time because they cared. And I just can't thank them both enough. And this hospital. Going back real quickly, this hospital opened in 1954. I was 5 years old. I broke my arm, so I've been associated with this hospital many, many times since 1954. needless to say. So I'm giving you my age, that's okay. 2 weeks ago, Sharon and Leanne bought I'm going to call it a love box. It was an assortment of things that the 5th floor staff had put together, along with their personal items, get well cards, words of encouragement, a daily devotional that I read every day. And I think of these ladies, and I think of God and what He can do for us if we believe. And their faith is a major part of who they are and why they are. But the best gift, and really why you're truly getting and deserving that award, is your banana pudding. The banana pudding got you that award. So, I hope what I have said has had meaning, and I hope and pray is that you know it came from here. And this hospital can be proud of where you're headed, where you've been, and with leadership like these two ladies, specifically Sharon, there's no stopping. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. And the board of directors and all, they need to be proud of the people they're putting in this position to make the changes that this hospital has made. So I thank you for your time. And now, Sharon, the floor is yours.
Well,
Go ahead, please.
it's your turn to cook.
Oh, I'm making 5 on that egg sandwich.
I don't know that I have worked, after 35 years in nursing, and a lot of different roles. There are days that it's very difficult to know if you're making a difference. And the further you get from the bedside, the harder that is. And as I said, there's no possible way that you would know what seeing you smile and seeing you understand that people do care about you, what that did for me as a nurse, and reminded me of why we do and why we work the hours that we do. And above all, that we are God's servants and we're here to care about each other. As hard as our work is, if we don't care, we're just in the wrong field. It's just what it's about. And I'm also reminded of everyone on this team. And John Horvath told me something when I first took this position, that I would tell him, I don't know what I'm doing. And he said, well, it's like Moses. You don't have to. Everyone else holds your arms up for you. And he's right. What I don't know, you all fill in the blanks, and that you care about each other. And even when we kind of have a cross day, we work it out. And don't put this on the camera, but he thought I was his ex-wife. Because my vehicle is like her vehicle. So that was about the funniest part of the whole thing.
All I knew was, if it was her, it wouldn't have been pleasant.
Wouldn't have been any pudding.
No. Wouldn't have been no pudding attack.
And that's really what it's all about. And I believe I could just quit today because there's nothing in my career that would mean any more to me than this house. And I thought, why is there a wheelchair out there? I thought that when I came in, I was like, well, why is there? No, I didn't. I was already late.
Well, Leanne thought you would come from that side, so we thought we could say it.
You're just a wonderful man, and thank you.
If I can leave with one last thought. I've been a Christian since I was 16. But like most people, my walk with God has been that roller coaster. Hills and valleys and curves and everything that a human can go through. Been there, done that. But when you are 100% dedicated to God He will not fail you. And if I've learned that anything during these last 3 years, especially this last 2 surgeries in 7 days, God is endless and awesome and all the above. So if you put God as your pilot, just get in the co-pilot seat and say, let's go. So that's all I have to say.
And one
We love
last
you.
thing, all of these leaders and educators have special patience, but I know Leanne thinks of you just like part of her family. And I just want to recognize all the work that she's done. She really deserves this, not me. She has stayed connected with you just like you're her daddy, so. It's a good thing. I would have to
Congratulations.
walk-